Okay, Boda, this is your lesson on respiration. So if you put in on your paper title respiration, today's date actually is D clean, okay, and it's the 2nd of now November. We're getting closer and closer to Christmas, okay. And then our order ways is going to be explain and describe the processes of aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Keywords then to write down is aerobic, anaerobic, glucose and oxygen. And then do now quick 3 questions what you did in your last topic with Mr. Sia. So we've got where in the cell does respiration take place, define the term tissue and define the term organ. Okay, so pause the screen and then answer the questions for me. Lovely, I'll be back with you now. Okay, so let's go through the answers quickly of I do now. So where in the cell does respiration take place? Respiration takes place in our mitochondria. Okay, it's where in the cell we get the energy from. Then we've got to define the term tissue. So a tissue then is a group of cells working together. And then we've got define the term organ. So the organ is then a group of tissues that work together to perform a specific function. Okay, a specific function. So as I have said, this lesson we are going to look at the processes of aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So first of all, then we're going to look at these statements. We've got which of these statements are closest to the truth and which ones are wrong. So our first statement is respiration is the scientific way of saying breathing. Okay, that statement, if we look at that statement, okay, is wrong. I'm going to put a cross straight through it. Okay, and it's wrong because it is not breathing. Okay, so one thing that we need to know, respiration is not breathing. Okay, breathing is the process of how we get oxygen into our lungs and how we get carbon dioxide out. Okay, it's the breath that you take all of the time. Then we have then our next one, animals respire and plants photosynthesize. Okay, that one is sort of correct. Okay, so I'm going to give it a little tick, okay, because it is correct in ways that animals respire and plants do photosynthesize. However, we could actually improve that statement more because plants, okay, plants also respire, okay. It's not just animals that respire, plants also respire as well, okay, so that's why it's not fully correct. Then if we look at our next statement, we've got respiration is a way to produce energy. Okay, this is where we think this is the opposite, this is the correct one. However, we don't use the word produce. Okay, energy isn't produced in respiration. Okay, so that's why that statement is incorrect. When we then look at our last statement, we've got respiration is a chemical reaction that releases energy. Okay, and that's the key point here, is that is energy that is released from respiration, which is our answer. So this one is correct. So I'm going to get big 2 ticks for us. Okay, so if anybody asks you what respiration is, it's a chemical reaction that releases energy. Okay, so first of all, we are going then to look at aerobic respiration. So what is it? What's the equation and why do we need aerobic respiration? So aerobic respiration is a chemical reaction that uses glucose and oxygen to release energy. We know it releases energy because we've just said from the last slide. Okay, the glucose reacts with the oxygen and is oxidized, and then we've got the equation for aerobic respiration. So we have glucose and oxygen, they react together, they are reactants. Okay, and when they react together, they then produce carbon dioxide and water, and then they release this energy. Okay, and this is the energy that obviously that we need for day-to-day things. We've also then said that it takes place in our mitochondria, okay, which we know Okay, we know we learnt that from our cells topic. The mitochondria is where respiration will take place, and it's where aerobic respiration takes place. So what do we need respiration for? Okay, we need it for movement. Okay, you need it for everything that you're doing. Okay, you're sat here now listening to me, you need energy to sit and listen to me. Okay, we need it for growth and repair of cells. You were not born this big. Okay, thank God you're not born this big. Okay, but then you need then energy to build new cells. Okay, and to repair cells that are damaged if you cut yourself. We need to build new molecules. Okay, that we need, and to maintain our body temperature. Okay, is what we need them for. When we go back to our equation then, we need to look at where do we get our reactants from. So where do we get glucose from and where do we get oxygen from? And as we know, glucose is our posh word for sugar. Okay, so we get glucose from the food and our drinks, okay, so whatever we essentially ingest. And then we get oxygen then from the air that we breathe around us. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is to click press pause and then answer the 4 questions. We've got what is respiration? What is the word equation for aerobic respiration? Where do the reactants of aerobic respiration come from? And what does the body use energy for? So what do we need it for? Okay. Okay, so let's go through our answers very quickly then. So what is respiration? As we have said, respiration, let me zoom in just so I can write it, okay, is a chemical, oh, I'm in green, that's not going to help for you to see. It's a chemical reaction, and as we said, which releases energy. Okay, that's the main word I am looking for. Okay, we don't want produces. I am looking for that it releases energy. Then we've got what is the word equation for aerobic respiration. So what's the word equation? So for respiration, we need glucose, and it's going to react with oxygen. And as they react together, they combine and they are going to produce carbon dioxide with water. And then they also produce and releases that energy. Okay. Then we have, where do the reactants of aerobic respiration come from? So as we remembered, okay, our reactants are our glucose and our oxygen. So where do they come from? Our glucose, oh, right in the red now, our glucose comes from our food and drink. Okay, so what we take in, and then our oxygen, okay, we get from the air we breathe. Oh, my writing today is not the best. Okay, and then what does the body use energy for? So what were the things that we needed it for? So we need it for growth and repair of cells. We need it for movement. Okay, we're not going to get anywhere without energy. Okay, we need it to build new molecules in our body, and then we also need it to maintain our body temperature. Okay, which, if anybody knows, our body temperature is around 37.5 degrees. Okay, we like it at that one. And if you know, then it's because of enzymes, and you would have learnt last time that enzymes then become denatured at high temperatures, okay, or even low temperatures, so therefore the reaction can't take place. So we need to maintain it at around 37.5 degrees. Right, now let's look at anaerobic respiration. So this type of respiration does not use oxygen. Okay, we haven't got enough oxygen. So when we think we haven't got enough oxygen, okay, it's not when we hold our breath. Okay, it's mainly when we're doing exercise. Okay, when the body cannot get enough oxygen in. Obviously, when we hold our breath, but how often do we sit and hold our breath? Not often. Okay, so it's when we're doing some form of exercise. Okay, because as we know, when we exercise, our heart pumps okay, and it pumps a lot faster. And the reason is that it's trying to get enough oxygen around the body, okay? But sometimes we just can't get enough oxygen around the body for the respiration that we need. And that's when we go into anaerobic respiration. So what happens then? We still have glucose, okay? That's not going to change, and it's not going to change because we're still going to get it from the food and our drink, okay? We're still going to get it from the food we eat and the drinks, obviously, that we drink, okay? What happens then, because the glucose can't combine with our oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water, we get the incomplete breakdown of it, okay? And from the incomplete breakdown, we get what is called lactic acid, okay? You know if you've got lactic acid because what you do in exercise, when you start to get that cramp in your side when you doing your exercise, that then is the build of lactic acid in your cells, okay? We also release energy, okay, but it's a lot less energy than what we would release if we were having respiration through aerobic respiration, okay? And then, so this type of respiration is used, for example, when animals being chased by a predator or persons previously exercising, which we have said, okay? So we have glucose, it's incompletely broken down to lactic acid, okay, which is our cramp. We all experience that at some point in our lives. And we do produce energy, but it's a lot less energy than what we would in aerobic respiration. Okay, so you can do this if you want, okay? All you need to do is then sit on your chair, okay? And you've got to just raise your left arm up in the air, okay? And all you do is got to clench and unclench your hand for 30 seconds, okay? So just normally, okay? Then once you've done that, then take a breather, okay? And then do it again with the same arm, but hold your breath when doing it. So clench and unclench your hands while holding your breath, okay? Try for 30 seconds. If you can't do it 30 seconds without thinking you're going to pass out, then continue to breathe, okay? But what you will notice is that you will feel that cramp in your hand quicker while you are holding your breath, okay? It's because we're not breathing in oxygen, so we're not trying to get enough oxygen. We're starting then in some cells to produce lactic acid, okay? Just in that 30 seconds, which you can try now. Once you've done that then, okay, press pause. There's 3 quick questions I want you to do. So what is the equation for anaerobic respiration? What is the difference between the terms aerobic and anaerobic? And then which process provides more energy? Okay, and then I will get back to you with the answers. Okay, so let's get to our answers. Let me get my pen up. I'm just going to do this. So what's the word equation for anaerobic respiration? So we know our reactant then is just glucose on its own. Okay, because we're still getting it from our food and our drink. And that is incompletely broken down, which is going to form lactic acid, okay, and it also releases energy, okay, but a lot less energy, okay. And then what is the difference between the terms aerobic and anaerobic? Well, aerobic is with oxygen, okay, it's respiration with oxygen, and then anaerobic is respiration without oxygen. Okay, and then which process provides more energy? So we know we get more energy from aerobic respiration. Okay. Then I have a quick task for you to do that I would like you to do. Okay, and just for you to answer on your worksheet, and then you can upload it with the rest of the work from this lesson so that we can see. Okay, so what it says, okay, I'm going to zoom in for you so you can see it. It says, write an account of the similarities and differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration in muscle cells. In your account, explain why aerobic respiration is more efficient than anaerobic respiration. Okay, so it is your 6-mark question, which we can see. Okay, so I would like it written as you would write in a 6-mark question. You want to see bullet points, okay? I want full sentences, I want proper written extended answer. Okay, if you are stuck, okay, I will give you a hint quickly. Okay, so a hint when we are looking at this question, look at first of all the reactants, okay, and the products of respiration, okay, and we should be okay to answer the question. Any problems, email either science teacher, me, anyone in the science department, and we will get back to you. And then upload your work so we can check it. Thank you, Year 10.